The Missouri Compromise took place in 1820. It was an attempt to solve the growing disagreement between the North and the South over slavery. At the time, the United States had 22 states, 11 allowed slavery, and 11 did not. This kept things balanced in Congress, especially in the Senate, where each state gets 2 votes. But then Missouri, a territory in the center of the country, asked to become a state, and they wanted slavery to be allowed. This caused a big problem. If Missouri became a slave state, the balance would be broken. Slave states would have more power in the Senate. People in the North didn't want that. They were worried that slavery would spread across the whole country. People in the South wanted Missouri to join as a slave state because they believed states should decide for themselves. The argument went on for months. Leaders debated in Congress. Tempers rose. Some people feared the country might break apart. Then a man named Henry Clay came up with a solution. He was known as the Great Compromiser because he was good at helping people find middle ground. Clay's plan had 3 parts. First, Missouri would join the United States as a slave state. Second, a new state called Maine would also join, but as a free state where slavery was not allowed. This would keep the number of slave and free states equal at 12 each. Third, and most importantly, the compromise created a line across the rest of the land in the Louisiana Territory. This line was drawn at latitude 36 degrees, 30 minutes north. Any new state formed north of this line would be free. Any state south of the line could choose to allow slavery. With this plan, both sides got something. The South got Missouri. The North got Maine and a promise that slavery would not spread north of the line. Congress passed the Missouri Compromise in 1820, and for a while the country was at peace again. For the next 30 years, the line drawn by the Missouri Compromise helped avoid fights over slavery in new states. But the issue never really went away. As more land was added to the country, especially after the Mexican-American War, new questions came up. Would these new territories allow slavery? What would happen if they didn't? Some people in the South began to feel that their way of life was under attack. Some people in the North wanted slavery to end everywhere. New political parties formed, new laws were passed, and by the 1850s, the argument over slavery had grown even worse. In 1854, the Missouri Compromise was overturned by another law called the Kansas-Nebraska Act. This law said that new states could decide for themselves whether or not to allow slavery, even if they were north of the Missouri line. This caused anger and violence in places like Kansas, where people fought over the decision. The peace that had held for so long was gone. Just a few years later, in 1861, the Civil War began. The Missouri Compromise had delayed the conflict, but it couldn't prevent it forever. Slavery was an issue too big and too important to be settled by one agreement. When we learn about the Missouri Compromise, we learn about a country still trying to decide what kind of nation it wanted to be. We learn about leaders who tried to